Yes, I finally beat Fatalis after not doing it for over a year, and this is how I did it. But first, a little backstory as to why it took so long. The reason I never really bothered fighting Fatalis is because there was a controversy around it, plus I was very much content with never being able to beat it. I also didn't see a point in doing it since there isn't that much to do after beating Fatalis anyway. I even beat Arc-Tempered Velkhana way before taking on Fatalis. But of course, over time, people, especially friends, kept asking me about it, and I kept delaying it over and over again, until recently. I decided to take it on and get it out of the way once and for all. I knew I was going to use my main weapon to beat Fatalis, Charge Blade, but there was only one feasible playstyle I had in mind for it, Savage Axe. It was a style that I used to beat AT Velkhana as well as Elatrion. The first thing I tried to do was use a dragon weapon since Fatalis is weak to it. This was more of an experimental first fight as I needed to learn his patterns and moveset. I knew I needed to break the head, but I wasn't sure how to do it yet, and as expected for a first run, I failed. Well, more like I abandoned since it was an experimental run. I was even gonna try to do this without mantles at first. Spoiler alert, bad idea. The next attempts were all failures due to me trying to just do the fight my own way. I even switched to a different Charge Blade just to see how I would do. Still failed a lot. I got so fed up that I finally looked up the best ways to go about the fight with Charge Blade. Turns out, you still gotta use Savage Axe mode. I also ended up having to use the mantles Rocksteady and Temporal. And since I was using the Raging Brack Charge Blade, I ran Protective Polish to give me some extra time to have Purple Sharpness. And I knew I wasn't going to run sets like everyone else, but I was running things like Crit Eye, Attack Boost, Heartbreaker, and Evade Extender for utility. Savage Axe tends to be hard to use without it. So here was the strategy. I would use the famous artillery strat to knock him down and attack the head. Then I would weaken the chest for Savage Axe damage until he did the one-shot move, then I grabbed the binders to hold him down while I attacked the head again. I also used the Roaming Ballista to aim for the head every time and made sure to use Smoke Bombs to make him land for it to be easier. I also used Max Potions and Ancient Potions to make healing faster, especially when I took big damage. I broke the head eventually and used the Dragonator, but when I felt close, I failed again. This loss was devastating. It genuinely felt like I was never going to beat this thing, and I wasn't going to try and get meta sets just to beat it. So I took a break for a bit to get my bearings to try again. It felt like I was going to be fighting this thing for an eternity. But then, this next attempt happened. I was doing so much better than last time, though he had me at my last 2 feints left and I was doing my best to be careful at that point while also dealing damage. It was about 5 minutes of this stressful moment until finally... Oh, yes, 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 yes! I beat Fatalis. Yes, I was quiet with my excitement since it was late at night when I finally beat it. It was 28 minutes left when I finally won. I can now rest knowing that I beat the very last monster in Iceborne, and it only took a little over a year to do it. But even though I managed to overcome this obstacle, there is still another one out there, one I have yet to fell, perhaps even harder than Fatalis.